Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome. And in this video, we need to speak about MAN trucks. So as you know, there's a whole new generation of trucks coming. There's going to be a replacement for this TGM, that TGL, and also the TGS and TGX tractor units. They're all coming. So we need to get fully up to speed as to when these trucks are arriving and what's happening with MAN during this whole COVID situation that we find ourselves in at the moment. Because it's delaying everything, guys, as you know. So yeah, let's get fully up to speed with Malcolm McKinstry. He is their area sales manager for MAN Importers in Ireland, in Dublin. Let's have a chat with Malcolm and he'll fill us in on the details. Hello, Malcolm. How are things up in MAN Importers in Dublin?
Hello, Stavros. Good, yes. Thank you very much for the call. Greatly appreciate this.
No problem.
Just want to say, very honoured. I recently watched an interview you did with Joachim Dreus, our group CEO in MAN in Germany, and I hope I live up to the standards.
I'm sure you will, Malcolm. But can you just tell us, what way are you guys up in Dublin at the moment during this whole COVID situation? Are you back to normal now, or have you got all your staff back? What way is it now, Malcolm?
Well, most people are back. There's a few still working remotely. Throughout the COVID crisis, we kept going. We never fully stopped. We had a sort of a skeleton staff of both parts and after-sales parts and service, helping customers with either breakdowns or just maintenance for essential services, that type of stuff. So I have to say, very proud of the guys. They kept it together here all the way through. Some of us, like myself in sales and my colleagues, and also maybe accounts and warranty and whatnot, all kind of worked remotely. As of this phase, we're all kind of coming back now. It's pretty much business as usual, as much as it can be, because it's quite peculiar. We pride ourselves in being a lovely, friendly team here, a small friendly team, and to find perspex screens and no handshaking, I mean, this is a brave new world for us all.
Absolutely. And so you don't have all the staff back yet, is that right? Not
fully, no. Yeah. Some are working remotely. Some that might have, reasons for, conditions or whatever else, might work at home, or anyone, just if they can. There's no reason for the accounts being here if it can be done now with the technology. I mean, I'm very impressed with how technology has come into our business. Throughout the shutdown or lockdown or whatever you want to call it, we were having Zoom meetings every couple of days, to keep on top of things. And even like next week, even we have a marketing meeting with all our dealer network on Zoom. Like a mini dealer conference, if you like.
So we will now chat about the big launch event. We had a TGX, a TGM, TGS and TGL. There was 4 trucks at this launch event in Bilbao. A huge event. I was over there for 2 days. Now, it all started out at the Bilbao port. They had a big marquee. That was the launch day. And then on the second day, they had the whole event at the Bilbao Exhibition Centre, where they had 50 test trucks. Now, Malcolm, you went over. You spent a full week at the event. Can you just tell people how it all went for you over there?
Well, wow, it was amazing. As a truck enthusiast myself, I have to tell you, it was like Disneyland for us.
Yes.
MAN put on such an incredible show. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, developing the new lineup and marketing and everything, the whole lot came to something that they reckon somewhere in the region of 850 million. Whoa. So there was certainly millions spent on the rollout, if you like, and it was amazing. I mean, there was literally, as you said, 50 vehicles to drive from, but there was more than that. You know what I mean? Some of the special effects that they put on, and it really was quite stunning. I'm gutted that we were due to go back a couple of weeks later and start bringing some customers over and let people touch and feel the new product. Unfortunately, despite the fact that MAN had block booked the Bilbao Exhibition Centre for, 3 months, it was cut short literally just after we got back. Yeah. I mean, Bilbao, being in the middle of the Basque region, was badly hit by COVID as it transpires, and we were lucky to have missed it, to be quite honest with you, both yourself and ourselves, And so we're gutted on that front. And it doesn't end there. I mean, we have 4 huge model launches this year, and the reality is all the shows, everything from the Full of the Pipe to the CB show in Birmingham, right through to the shows in Germany, Hanover, every single show, Peterborough, anything you can think of, gone this year. At a time when we really needed people to look and see the new product and get excited about it, you know.
So, Malcolm, we'll just give people a timeline. This big launch event happened in early February. You went over around the middle of February, and then a week after you came back, the whole event was closed down. They had Bilbao Exhibition Centre booked for 7, maybe 8 weeks. So that was all cancelled. Then, as you said, customers weren't able to get over to test drive the truck, and then journalists, even more journalists, couldn't make it because it was shut down, the event. And even on the launch night, they were down about 200 people because of a storm. So it was terribly unlucky for the whole event, the way that it all panned out. And we're recording this now in the middle of June, and we're only just beginning to start coming out of this whole COVID lockdown situation, and things hopefully will begin to pick up slightly, maybe sales-wise on trucks, who knows. But yeah, it's very tough on everyone, isn't it?
It is. Now, I mean, what should be an incredible time for us. We were looking forward to this year for quite some time. The only, I mean, and it's not a positive, but the only, from MAN's point of view, because this was a changeover year, we actually were expecting a lull in a large part of this year while people were waiting for the new model anyway. So whilst we're down, I mean, we held our own at the beginning of the year, market share wise. We were expecting a drop. We got a drop, that's for sure. And it's going to drop further, unfortunately. The new model, I mean, we're trying to figure out, again, we were supposed to be getting the new model back in March, you know what I mean, or April. And like it's not here, you know.
And so, Malcolm, when can we expect these new trucks?
We're looking like we're going to get the first, which is the TGX, which obviously you drove. The TGX we're anticipating in August. Bear in mind now, the factory in Germany, or the factories are back, but naturally with a massively reduced staff. So, you know, production will be down. I don't care what they say. I mean, and you have to factor in, and it's not unique to MAN. All manufacturers will have a similar situation. You've got just-in-time delivery. It only takes one of their suppliers to have an issue as a result of COVID, and it slows the process down. So, exactly. You know, we're taking it, as I say, we were hoping before that we'd have it before August. Now it's looking like it's going to be August. In reality, in this country, not an awful lot goes in truck sales. It happens rather in August. So I expect to see more happening in September. Now, put a note in your diary there, Stavros, while I'm talking to you. We're bringing in not one, but 2 demonstrators in the new model. So I'm putting your name top of the list for one of those.
Yes! I get it. TGX to test drive, guys. Yeah, nice one. You know? Thanks, Malcolm.
There you butter. But as I say, so we're really excited to see that now. I can't wait till that arrives. That will give us a bit of a lift. On the upside, we actually have had a good stock of vans in stock, which has kept us going. You know, so there's even throughout the COVID crisis, there were companies in the essential service that were actually short of vehicles.
All right,
and we were delivering throughout that. Yeah. You know, so it was good to have that string to our bow.
Absolutely. You know? And Malcolm, how much of a price increase is there going to be on these new trucks? Any idea?
Yeah, that's not a good news story, unfortunately. It's going to be substantial enough. It's not fully certain yet, but we're looking, depending on the model, you're looking somewhere in the region of 7.5% to 10% of a price increase, price uplift. Now, that's the bad news. On the good news side is you can counteract that with a good bit of spec. You know, there's a lot of technology, a lot of investment gone into a lot of technology for these new trucks. So you will have extra spec. And that will suit the Irish guys, the Irish market, because they do tend to spec their MANs, are good, loyal following. You know, they really do.
And Malcolm, what's the situation with gearboxes? Are they using the Scania gearbox on the TGX?
They are. You actually see that more on the continent than here, because what they've tended to do is use the Scania gearbox on the 4x2s. And when it comes to, when I say Scania now, I have to be very careful. I get in trouble, get my hand slapped for that. It's MAN.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But they shared the technology, obviously, as all part of the Volkswagen group. There's a certain amount of shared technology, but we call it MAN.
Right.
Anyway, but you'll see that box now on the 4x2s, which will be popular on the continent. We do, obviously, mostly we sell 6x2 tractor units over here. And for the 6x2s, and particularly the high horsepower, they're using the traction gearbox, or the traction gearbox. So now that has improved and has developed. There was a new software change last year, and we had a 191 demonstrator on last year, and it was very, very well received. That particular gearbox from guys who would have had, ZF gearboxes in the past. So it's constantly improving, on both sides. Both the MEN/Scania and the ZF gearboxes have improved. Sorry.
And Malcolm, the one that I drove was the 640, the TGX. It had 3,000 Newton meters of torque. Is there any talk of more powerful trucks, or is that the flagship?
At the moment, that's the flagship. It's putting out it's putting out as much power as the old 680 V8 at one stage. So what I mean. They're squeezing more torque out of the engines, but who's to say? They're constantly trying to build new flagships. So I would hate to be the one to say there won't be.
and Malcolm, can we just talk about these 5-axle, say, tipper trucks, cement trucks? Is there much demand for them in Ireland? I know that Brendan Sweeney has a TGS. I done a video on that, the concrete pumping truck. His one is a left-hand drive. It's a 5-axle. How much extra is it to have this extra axle on top of an 8x4 tipper if you want a 5-axle?
It is quite expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard a rumour that truck that you're talking about, Brent's truck in Cork, I heard that's possibly one of the most expensive trucks in Ireland, I'd say.
It definitely is. I won't say how much, but it is one of the most...
There's two types of customer. I mean, there's a lot of people who are very cost conscious. They're not going to go with the extra axle from MEN. It is pricey. The way MEN operated is taken from the factory, brought across to another factory they have, which does modifications, and make changes that way. There's a couple of factors. Number one, we currently it's only available to us in left-hand drive.
All right, okay.
Whether that's for type approval reasons or whatever, it's currently only available on left-hand drive. Now, some people, like Brendan, are willing to go for it on left-hand drive. It's worth that to them.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of companies who have very expensive equipment, and the price of the chassis is only a small proportion of the overall price of the vehicle. In which case, we win more than our fair share of those deals in MEN. A lot of those manufacturers love to work with MEN. Everybody from, you see Kroll that do the recycling tankers and all the rest of it.
Oh yes, it's like a mobile sewage treatment truck, isn't it?
Yes, and another one there. There was a German company called Wiedemann, and they supplied. Well, they have an Irish distributor, UTS in Broomhill Road in Tala. They worked with us on a tender, and they won a tender for Ervia for Wiedemann recycling units. Now, if you've seen these trucks, I mean, maybe we'll show you another day, but oh my God, the technology that's in these trucks is absolutely, they are literally like mobile sewage plants, sewage facilities, whatever, So basically, the likes of those, they went for the MEN chassis on those now, and there's 4 of them. I'd say they're certainly the most expensive trucks now. I've been involved in the sale of. I can't say how much they cost, but you're into the millions when you look at the few of them,
Yeah, so people don't realise that the most expensive trucks in Ireland are actually MANs with all this equipment on the back of them. They're Malcolm, they're huge money, huge.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So Malcolm, we done a video together where we were driving a tipper truck. It was a TGS. The 420, and we tipped a load in Behan's Quarries.
Yes.
Can you just explain to people again, the hub reduction system? What way does that work on the back axle? It's like a separate gearing, is it?
That truck in particular was the 35 series.
Yeah.
So the first thing to note is that she had the straight axle, which meant that she had good ground clearance. So it's perfect for quarries and any off-road work. The hub reduction adds to that as well, because it has basically a gearing that reduces, as in hub reduction, it reduces the gearing down to the between the hubs back to the ZF gearbox, and basically, you know, gives it better maneuverability or better control rather when you're in the off-road situation. So it's popular now, and I have to say it's you know, I mean, it's an incredible truck. It really is. I mean, like I had a guy in here only yesterday, and he could get over. He said by far the best eight-wheeler on the road. By far the best. He said,
like, some of those tippers really perform well. And Malcolm, can we just talk about, you know, rear axle ratios, just how important they are when people are speccing a truck, that they get the proper rear axle ratio for the work that they're doing. It's hugely important, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You know, for an example, I mean, you take the same truck, but you look at the different applications. For an example, I mean, you could have a heavy haulage 120-ton truck needs a completely different rear axle ratio. Then, I mean, the volume of what we would sell, I mean, obviously track units for general haulage and general road work. The aim when you put the rear axle ratio in that is to make sure that it's in the green band when you're up near your limiter. So they're trucking on down the motorway to Cork, and they're actually using the most optimum fuel for that amount. Whereas you look at, say, a heavy haulage, and you put a completely different rear axle ratio in it, and then you can climb up a wall carrying 120 tons. Okay, you're crawling it, but that's what it's built for, you know. So it's absolutely critical now, you know. And similarly, you know, there's no, I mean, it takes a bit of experience to get that together right, you know.
Malcolm, I haven't even told anybody what I'm sitting in. I'm sitting in an MAN TGM 18250. There's rigid truck that we have a loan of for the moment, but and we also have a TGL MAN. Very nice.
You have a
light
loan
truck.
of that. Does that mean you might have a meet for a truck there?
Oh, you never know, Malcolm. There's a bit of you're sharp, Malcolm. But and Malcolm, can you tell us what's the most, I suppose you could say, memorable sale that you've had at MAN Importers? What sale sticks out the most to you?
Well, it's very hard to answer that, because I mean, you don't want to alienate any of your good customers, and there will be plenty of good customers. But I tell you, the one I got the most satisfaction from when I look back was I had a customer who had do you recall the Euro 4 MANs where they had an issue with EGR?
Oh, I heard about it, yeah.
We didn't really have that problem so much here in Ireland, but we imported the problem with second-hands from the UK.
All right.
And it broke an awful lot of people's hearts, unfortunately. Well, just such a customer was John Phillips, and they came in and they basically asked me would I buy the truck off them, that they didn't want any more MANs. So I put a deal together with him that I'd actually take it as a trade-in and then send him a new one. Now, he initially laughed in my face at the idea of buying another MAN, but he did go through it in fairness to him. And I'm delighted to say, you know, they recently took their 4th new MAN from me.
Oh, so there you go.
And they're on contract and everything. So they're very happy with the Euro 5 and Euro 6 is how they've gone. So, you know, to show that, like, unfortunately, there's so many people who got badly burnt with that model, but they stuck with us. And, you know, I've enjoyed that kind of a deal now where the customers stick with us and they're loyal, you know. It's great. It's very satisfying. And you build up a very good relationship with customers like that, you know. They're more like friends now, you know. And we, as I said, we're a small team here. The customers kind of know Eddie and Glenn and the mechanics by name. And, you know, so, like, it's quite good when you build up a rapport with them like that, you know.
And Malcolm, the new TGX, I did hear that they are bringing out a mirror cam system. Now, MAN have that system for the buses. It's called OptiView. So they're already familiar with mirror cam systems in their vehicles. So, yeah, I suppose it's just a matter of time before people can spec it on the new TGX or other models in the range as well.
Yeah, well, when they launched the new model, they haven't initially brought in even as an option straight off.
Yeah.
Partially, I'm relieved because I'm dying for people to try the new mirrors. I mean, for so many years, we heard about all these mirrors, the blind spot is terrible, and this and that. I'm delighted to be able to report that, in my opinion, that is fixed. Yeah. That's the good news. Yeah, I'm sure it will come as an option, but I still find a lot of customers actually prefer to have the mirrors for various different reasons. I mean, for an example, if you bang the camera and the camera's broken, you may pull in at the side of the road until somebody comes out with a new camera or fixes it. You can crack a mirror and get safely home to your depot. You know, So there's an element of, nervousness about it still. Now, having said that, we have to move with the times. I mean, we've all, when it comes, I know the technology will be up to it. But I do respect MAN. They're very, very cautious with new technology, and they'll only introduce it when they're happy it's right,
But I think this whole mirror cam system, it's part of a bigger picture that's coming in the future in terms of autonomous driving. This is just the start of it. And, they'll develop it better, and there'll be better mirror camera systems coming as well. So people will warm to it eventually. I'm kind of in the middle at the moment. I can take it or leave it. I don't really mind. I still have to test it at night and in pouring rain to see what it's like. But yeah, I'd be happy to give it a go when MAN put it on the trucks and see how it performs.
Well, they've already introduced, with this new truck, they've introduced things like turn assist, lane departure assist. Now, that's on top of lane departure warning. There's a lane departure assist now as well. There's traffic jam assist. So there's a lot of this stuff now for city drivings that will be in line with what they're looking for London and all these regulations and that. I think they'll be very impressed with what the new MAN TGX has to offer for that.
Oh yes, Malcolm, because the driver vision standard that's coming in the UK in London next year. So certain trucks will be required to meet a certain standard before they're allowed in to this area of London. And yeah, the TGX should do well because it also has those sensors at the side of the truck to detect cyclists coming up your inside.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it's incredible now. They put a great deal of thought into it now. I will say that. And as I say, now be interesting to see. Don't forget now, we've those other 3 models being launched later on this year as well.
Oh yeah.
But I say launched. Unfortunately, the launches aren't happening this year, but the trucks will be coming at the tail end of the year. Yeah. And but realistically, you won't see them probably till early next year on Irish roads. By the time they get bodies put on them and get completed,
Oh, they've done a great job on the interior, the screens, the steering adjustment. It's just they've got so many things right on the truck now. All they need to do, Malcolm, is to put a gloss finish on the front grille. Now, I said it to them at the launch. Why didn't it have the lovely gloss finish that they have now? And they said, maybe it has something to do with the camera flashes. That it would be reflecting off the grille. So that's probably one of the reasons they didn't have the gloss finish on the grille. But Malcolm, when these new trucks are done up in company liveries, they're going to look very well on the road.
Well, I can't wait to see it. It's hard to even imagine when you just look at a picture or look at it on the screen. I can't wait to see them up close and in person over here in company's colours and that. No, absolutely. They're very proud of. The interesting thing is, and I'm not sure this is an argument for why they didn't go for the gloss finish at the front, but it may well be. They're very proud of the aggressive. The lion's face basically being in the front head-on view of the tractor unit. I think that's where the black maybe, but they was trying to tie it in that respect, But I can't wait to see. I love one of the things I love about this job is the truck enthusiasts, when they send them off to their painters, what they come up with for all the trucks. I can't wait to see what they make of the new MAN,
Yeah, it'll look great. But Malcolm, I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. I think we are now brought fully up to date on the new truck generation from MAN. I look forward to test driving it sometime in August, maybe September, whenever you get it in. But Malcolm McKinstry, Area Sales Manager for MAN Importers in Dublin, thank you very much.
And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm.
So many thanks to Malcolm there from MAN Importers in Dublin for keeping us up to date on the arrival of the new truck generation. Really looking forward to testing it on Irish roads in August, see what it's like on the road. So guys, I'm going to leave you all there. Huge thanks to you all for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And I'll chat to you all again this Sunday for another video. Until then, take care guys. Thanks. Cheers!
And the buttons at the bottom of the driver's door can be configured any way you wish. I.e., if you use a PTO, put a PTO switch there and so on. Great idea. Came up with a driver that they interviewed. to improve the truck. Hey, simply my truck, brilliant.